Hi, Michael Parks here with Spire Investment Properties. Today we're asking the question, can you ever truly find a passive investment? First off, what is a passive investment? Well, a passive investment is where you put your money to work for you, collect a return, and don't have to do any work. Sounds great. I once thought that if you made good investment choices, you could sit back and just watch them appreciate. But now, I don't think any investment can be truly passive. The fact is, no one cares more about your money than you do. You need to put in the time and effort to maximize your passive investment opportunities and keep your eye on it. Even just investing in the stock market, perhaps through mutual funds, stocks, bonds, etc. Sure, there's no work involved, but if you aren't deliberate about how you allocate to different asset classes, keep your portfolio balanced against your targets, pick the right fund managers, knowing when you'll trigger sales and pull down profits at the right time, you can find yourself on quite a roller coaster like I did. One day you're feeling pretty good, and a few months later, you find yourself 10 years further from retirement. I saw huge swings during COVID-19 in my portfolio, and I saw them back in 2008 in the Great Recession, in the dot-com bubble burst, and many times in between. So in another example, I started a franchise hair salons, and the model seemed great. Hire a manager, they run the day-to-day of the business. I'll focus on scaling the business, opening new salons. After all, I can't cut hair, so I would be focused on the business, not in the business. But what ended up happening is it was very hard to find great managers that could truly run the business independently. I found myself several times a week in the hair salons, coaching the managers, fixing the operational issues, and keeping the salons profitable. Ultimately, I sold the business for a profit, but not without putting in way more work than I ever thought I would need to. So complacency is the enemy here. If you take your eye off the ball, if you become complacent, you'll find yourself upside down in a hurry. Well, the same is true with passively investing in multifamily syndications. Although multifamily investing is incredibly passive compared to many other opportunities, nobody should relax and not watch their investment. But that's what most people do. They just keep investing money and rarely look at their statements. With very little effort, you can have a big negative impact on your net worth. So nothing should be purely passive. You need to have a strong interest in being prepared and educating yourself. So how much time does it take to invest in multifamily syndications? Well, the time you spend is generally spent up front. I know a person that spends 10 hours a week networking, finding deals. Of course, he's a full-time passive investor. And for many of us, this is just a portion of our portfolio. Others spend very little time at all. And it really comes down to your own comfort level as to making sure that you're comfortable with the investment choices you're making. In reality, most of your time is going to be spent up front, finding an operator or operators that you're comfortable with and want to work with and invest your money. You'll spend the time finding those operators, vetting them, but in reality, usually passive investors will only invest with one or two, maybe three. And that's because you get very comfortable with the approach the operator is taking, it fits your investment style, and you begin to see the results of their work. Once you actually find the right investors to invest with, they usually have a strong pipeline of deals, 3, 4, 5, 6 a year. So there's plenty of opportunity to continue to invest, and you'll want to do some due diligence to your comfort level on each deal as it comes up. That's really the majority of your work. After that, you want to be opening the statement every month, and a lot of times investors will just read the narrative. Is the investment on track or not? And a lot of times early on, you may want to dig in a little more into the financials, but once the property stabilizes, you're getting the cash flow and the checks are coming in. Really, there's very little to do at that point. So is a multifamily syndication investment truly passive? Well, no. You did your homework and you made a great choice. In fact, You will have probably done more than you have done for many of your other investments in the stock market, for instance. And you'll have a much clearer understanding of why and where you've chosen to invest your money. If you are interested in learning more about multifamily syndication, I invite you to join my Spire Investor Group at www.spireinvestmentproperties.com/join. There's no cost or obligation, and you'll get access to webinars and videos that show you exactly how to invest passively in real estate to create a financial security that will allow you to weather the unexpected and ultimately retire with confidence. You'll gain access to my Spire Simple Syndication system that explains how to evaluate passive real estate opportunities to invest in the right deals for you. You'll have a personal conversation with me to answer any of your questions you have regarding passive real estate investing and help you formulate a plan to create the future you want to achieve, and to gain exclusive access to the apartment investing opportunities at Spire Investment Properties. So if you're interested in learning more and taking the next step, again, go to www.spireinvestmentproperties.com/join, and I look forward to welcoming you into our group.